this is the Cricket Hotspot. We are recording here from Toronto. I have with me Sarthak.
Hey guys.
This is podcast number 13. 13 is also the highest number of sixes ever hit in a T20 innings. It was Brendan McCullum who hit 158.
Quite an epic innings that, huh? The ball was in the air for longer than it was on the ground.
Yes, so was Shah Rukh Khan.
And that actually set the tone for the entire IPL and the 4 seasons of it follow.
Yes. So we have talked about this innings in more depth in previous podcasts. So let's move on to our main topics for today. India won another test. It seems things are going all okay.
We're moving towards my prediction of a 3-0 win.
Yeah.
You are on target right now at 2-0.
Yeah.
If they don't win the last one.
I want you to be right on this one.
But yeah, obviously good performance. West Indies is a good team. But again, as you can see, the experience of playing in these conditions, or probably the experience of just playing international level cricket, is lacking, because they do have good players. They have shown time and again flashes of brilliance, but it's the application of that skill at the international level which is not yet at where it should be.
I think in both the tests you saw there was a session which West Indies dominated. So it's not like it's sort of that thing that you have to expand from your T20 performances and take it to a bigger stage. So I think it's a big learning curve for them to play with the likes of Sachin, play with the likes of Lakshman. It is a learning curve, and I think they are on the right track, especially Darren Bravo, who made a great 100 at the empty Eden Gardens. It was a great innings. Did you manage to see any of it?
I did actually, and the parts that I wanted to catch were Umesh Yadav bowling.
Oh yes.
So
yes. First, let's talk about Bravo, and then we'll go on to.
As far as Bravo's batting is concerned, again, as we've talked about it before, he does have certain Lara-esque quality about him.
Yes.
But again, to replicate the master is not yet.
Not that. Yeah.
He hasn't achieved that yet. Yeah. But again, he does have ample talent. There's no denying that.
Some of his shots, the sixes to Ashwin over long on, they were special. I felt like they were not typical test match shots, but they were certainly great shots to.
And the good thing he did was he came out and he was positive. He went to play shots from the very beginning, and that's how his natural game is. And for any batsman, the best way to settle down in the middle is play your natural game. So initially you do have to be a little circumspect if the ball is doing a lot. Yeah. But from what we heard Dhoni and everyone talk about the match, I think the pitch was quite flat once they came out to bat in the third innings.
I think after the second day the pitch flattened out quite a bit. So that's just what Test cricket is all about. That's the beauty of Test cricket. If you manage to play for 5 days, you see the different variations of how pitch takes place. That's why I like Test cricket.
Even their other batsman, Adrian Bharat, is pretty good.
Yes.
Very good prospect for the future.
Yes, I remember his first 100 he played against Australia, and that was a very good innings. It was West Indies were not doing well in the first test. It was the second test. He came in, he hit a beautiful 100, I think 120 something. So he's also good prospect. It was sad to see him injured for the first test, so it's good that he's back.
If you talk about their bowling, again, they have the firepower actually, which is lacking in a lot of teams.
Our guy Rampal is being kicked out of the team.
I know, poor Rampal.
Yeah.
Very good bowler, but again, you can't really judge on what their selection is going to be for the next tests.
Yeah.
He might as well be back.
Yeah.
So it's Rampal. They have Roach. They have Fiedel Edwards. They have a good bunch of bowlers.
I would rather play Rampal over Roach, considering the way he bowled. I would rather play Rampal over Roach.
So they have a very good bunch of bowlers, but see, the only problem is, again, the exposure at the international level. They haven't played the longer format of the game against quality opposition for a decent number of time. So it's always going to come back and haunt you if you keep playing shorter formats of the game. Your skill will only develop to such an extent. You need to play the longer format against quality oppositions for your skill to be at that next level.
Especially as we said about England during the ODIs, I think if you come to the subcontinent it just adds a different dimension to your game. I mean, you have to first of all adjust to the conditions. It's not similar at all from anywhere else in the world. If you go in the subcontinent, even if there are no crowds, the ambience in the stadium and the kind of conditions there are in general are very much different than anywhere in the world. So I think they have to get used to it. And as young cricketers, it will take time for them to get used to it.
Good point. So now coming back to the topic we want to talk about,
yes,
India's space battery.
Yes.
Did you think we'd ever say that?
I think I said it after
Pay attention, there was no medium in front of the word pace.
Yes.
So
I think I said it after, last time I said it was after the Australian series in 2007, and now I'm saying before the series in Australia in 2011-12, and Umesh Yadav, what a find! He's swinging the ball from nowhere. A very good old ball bowler. He cannot utilize his swing early on, but with an old ball, amazing bowler.
he's definitely improving. As I think Dhoni pointed out after the match in his post-match interview, he said that he still bowls a little bit on the shorter side, but with every passing innings, he's learning more and more, and he's maturing to know where to bowl and where not to bowl.
Actually, I felt that he bowled quite full this test, and I think that's what got him the rewards. But he obviously, no bowler is actually a finished product. Everybody's working towards their game. Everybody wants to get that extra bit. But the late swing he got in this test, especially the wicket of Marlon Samuels in the first innings, breaking two of the three stumps, was really special to see from an Indian perspective.
Absolutely. And then we're tired of just seeing medium pace bowlers come in and bowl their dibbly-dobblies, as some of the commentators would describe it.
His lowest was 138, and his average was 140, 142, which is very good. Ishant Sharma also bowled well.
Again, yes, Ishant was bowling consistently above 138, 140.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's not about speed, but it's also the way he bowled. He bowled right channels. He bowled,
It's not all about speed. Otherwise, West Indies bowlers would have done much better than Indian bowlers.
Yes.
So
but it is still also about speed,
it's really refreshing to see. Yeah. And we've been harping on that point for I think last 4 or 5 episodes now.
Indians have been harping about that point for the last 50 years.
So
now.
We definitely needed someone to come in and bowl fast, but the thing that impresses me most about Umesh Yadav is no matter how long a spell he bowls, he doesn't look exhausted.
Yeah,
he can come in, he can consistently keep bowling around 140, but he doesn't look exhausted.
And he has that stamina to play the longer format in the dead wickets of the subcontinent. That's, I think, the most draining part for young fast bowler, and that's what makes them change to a slower version of themselves. But if he can bowl that well in these conditions, he'll do well in countries like South Africa, England, and Australia, of course, which is coming up.
Yeah, and he also looks very tough built, as in the sense he does not look fragile enough to get injured after a couple of matches.
Yeah.
So that should also help prolong his career, and hoping that he doesn't drop down on pace, and hoping that I don't jinx him right now.
Yeah. Obviously, whenever we see a fast bowler in our backyard, we sort of make him a godlike figure and give him $900,000 to play for the IPL and ruin his next 4 or 5 years.
Sounds like Ishant Sharma, wasn't
it? Let's now talk about
team selection for the third test.
Surprised Yuvraj out, Sharma in, Rohit Sharma?
Not really surprised, because Yuvraj, this was sort of the make or break test for him, because if he has to go for a tougher test down under and then fail there, that's going to be sort of an end to his career for the moment, till the big guns retire.
Yeah, I don't think he will make a comeback. He would rather, because he's no spring chicken now. So.
Right, he's around 30.
Yeah.
He's been in the squad for long enough to have had his place cemented by this time.
Yeah.
But he hasn't been able to manage that yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that'll go that way. But again, Rohit has age on his side. He's still maturing. He's got numerous chances in the one-day arena. I don't think he's got enough in the test match.
Yeah, he's just, I think, played 1 or 2 series maybe.
So it might not be a bad idea to give him a try, but I think if anyone has to play in the last test match, I think Kohli will come back in the squad before Rohit Sharma. That's what I
should
feel.
hope so. I
Yeah.
should hope so.
Because if you're going to give them both a chance for the series down under, I think Kohli, who was already in the squad,
more deserving than Rohit Sharma.
and was already in the squad, will have a greater understanding of what the West Indies team is like and what are they facing and what not. So I just think that when that spot opens up at number 6 in the Indian squad, in the batting lineup, Kohli might take it first before Rohit Sharma gets there.
I just hope whoever takes it makes something, like makes a decent score so that we have a good number 6 to play for in Australia and we can practice with that guy in mind.
Right, exactly. Although we can't say much because performing in the subcontinental conditions, how many times have we seen players go crazy in the subcontinental conditions, and as soon as they step outside the country in a bowler-friendly environment, and they just lose their bearings. They just don't know what to do. They don't know how to face the next ball. So we shouldn't run ahead of ourselves, but let's hope that some guy steps up and makes that spot his own, and they perform in the Australian tour too.
Sorry to go back to the second test. What about Lakshman and Eden Gardens?
That magical partnership.
Yes.
I think you put Lakshman by himself, Eden Garden, and let him face any bowling attack.
Any bowling.
It doesn't matter.
He faced the best and made 281. So I don't know what these guys will have a chance against him. So great innings actually. It was.
I think he got a century after a long time. He's been scoring consistent 50s in between.
Yes.
But again, he said it was a great relief to get a century because you can keep getting those 50s, which are match-winning innings. But again, finally, it's a big 100 that helps you more, like with your confidence, with your game, everything.
Yeah, I saw his quote where he said that people should know I can make 100 without any pressure. So, so he really had played that innings very well.
And I think what again helped was someone at the other end playing fast with him, which was in this case Mahendra Singh Dhoni, who got 3 lives or 2 lives, and survived 2 caught behind.
No ball caught behind. Yes.
Exactly.
For after a very long time, I saw Dhoni on his own, Dhoni in his own stride. You know, I have seen him. Last I remember was I think against Australia in Mohali, where he hit Peter Heddle straight down the ground for a couple of sixes. I haven't seen him hit sixes in that will that he did this time around. It was very, very refreshing, and I think Dhoni should bat like that. That's what brand Dhoni is about.
That's what his natural game is, and as we just discussed 10 minutes ago, it's all about playing your natural game. That's when you're the best. And initially, yes, you do want to settle in for 5 or 10 minutes, 15, 20 deliveries, but after that, it's all about your natural game. If you try to play like someone you're not, then you're not going to survive long enough. And yeah, that's absolutely the case Dhoni did.
Yeah, and spin still continuing well for India in this test, which
Oja has been really impressive, taking the new ball and actually bowling really well. He's not bowling flat, even though he's been given the new ball. He's flighting it up.
Yeah.
He's bowling it, letting the batsman reach out for the drive, and then classic.
Fastest left arm spinner to reach 50 wickets in Indian cricket. The thinking man's cricketer.
Oh, absolutely. He's been bowling well across formats, actually. Yeah. He's been good in the T20 IPL. He has been good in the one-day arena, whatever little chances he's got. And he's definitely been good in test matches. So, again, he had hit a lean patch before I think the team left for England.
Yeah.
And that's why Amit Mishra was drafted into the squad ahead of him. Also on the back of a strong IPL performance.
Very surprised to see he was not in the World Cup squad, which he should have been. He deserved that spot, but India won the World Cup, so we don't have to.
I don't think anyone has any grudges.
Any grudges about that. So let's talk about our next topic.
Alright guys, so moving on to our next segment, which in which we'll talk about the other series that are going on in the world right now, which top of the line being
the ODI series.
The ODI series in Abu Dhabi between Pakistan.
Dubai now.
Sorry, Dubai.
Yes.
Between Pakistan and Sri Lanka.
Yes.
We've been getting a lot of complaints about us not covering the entire world, and we definitely like to remind our listeners that we do try to cover as much as we can, depending on how much interesting cricket is going on around the world.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's talk about the ODI series. Stands at 2-1 right now in Pakistan's favor. 5-match series. Very surprising actually to see, if you see a trend during the first 3 ODIs. That's in spite of the flat wickets, it's actually the bowlers that have outperformed the batsmen in all the 3 matches.
I think it's because of the lack of ability of playing spin that actually Sri Lanka have possessed in the matches that they have lost. Very surprising to see the amount of wickets that have gone to Afridi and Ajmal. They both have brilliant spinners, but I saw the third match where they cannot pick the Dusra. I mean, 30 to 40% of the ball, if a spinner is bowling his actually a variation delivery, and you cannot pick that. A variation delivery is maybe 1 in 6 balls or 1 in like 10 balls, but he's bowling 30% of them. So it's very surprising, and once upon a time, there was a time when they had people like Ranatunga, Arvinda De Silva, one of the best players of spin in their times, and now it's very surprising. And the fact that Sangakkara in this ODI series has been going through a lean patch has made life slightly difficult for them. They are still in this series. They just need to win the next 2, and they'll win it. But this is a general trend of Sri Lankan cricket in Test matches and in ODI.
I think in their favour, Ajmal does bowl the Dusra really well.
Really well, yeah.
It's really tough for even like top level batsman to pick his Dusra.
People like Sachin can get foxed by his.
We can go back to the World Cup and
yes.
There's open a can of worms there.
Yeah.
But in any case, yes, he does bowl the Dusra exceptionally well, and it's really tough for batsmen to pick him up. So it's like Mullingar's slower ball or Mullingar's Yorker. You know the next ball is going to be a Yorker, but even then
you cannot
stop it going through and crashing into the stumps.
He's probably the best off-spin bowler in the world right now. No offense to Graham Swan, but I think in terms of the
I would say in the limited overs format, yes.
Yes. Well, Pakistan doesn't play as many Test cricket as well, so if they played Test cricket with big teams, I won't be surprised, because he's probably the complete off spinner that you want to see. He has a Dusra, he has every variation that you need. So one of the best spinners going on right now.
The other good news or big news from the Pakistan fans' perspective was return of the champ, Shahid Afridi,
yes.
the god in Pakistan cricket, back to the one-day fold after his self-imposed retirement.
Yeah.
So. And he made instant impact. I think the first match he played, picked up 3 wickets, was the man of the match.
That's the beauty of Afridi. He's sort of like the talisman of Pakistani cricket, because he makes things happen. And I was seeing the third match yesterday. Even the Misbah was the captain. Afridi was the most active player on the field, cheering up the bowlers, getting the fielders behind. And there was a point in yesterday's match where Sri Lanka could have easily won, but it was the Pakistani bowling, and especially Afridi, he bowled well. So great to see him back. He's obviously an entertainer to the world cricket because of his antics on the field and off it. But the only thing is that he will never be remembered as a complete cricketer, in the sense that he has not played Test cricket. Test cricket is what makes you really recognize a player as a great player, like you will, but he will always be a cricketer which will always be memorable, in the sense that he played that match and he did well for his country.
And I think this is a case where I would make an exception to the rule that I just mentioned 10 minutes ago, which was play your natural game always. I think Afridi would make me force a change or make an exception in this rule because of his hot-blooded nature. He just gets a blood rush, goes for his shots, gets out second or third ball. So if he'll hit a 4, he'll hit a 6, out. What's the point if you're scoring 10, 20 runs, quick runs, but after that you're just getting out? If the other batsman coming in and cannot live up to that expectation of hitting 4s and 6s at will. And
I think India should not have won that semi-final if Afridi would have batted.
Absolutely.
India shouldn't have won, and I think the moment where Afridi batted beautifully was in those 5-10 days in the 2009 T20 World Cup, where he won them the semi-final and the final on his own batting. So and that time I thought that Afridi has something in him and he can definitely contribute, but his batting is not improved. But he's a class bowler.
In spite of being 15 to 20 years in international cricket, he hasn't matured as a batsman, and that is really strange. As in, he can be a great entertainer. He can hit the ball at will out of the park, but he just cannot get himself to restrain from hitting it. Sometimes when the situation demands you have to settle in, you have to make sure that you rotate the strike and you get the singles and let the other batsman take the center stage, but that's not the case with the 3-day. It's always the star first.
Yes.
It's sort of that ego.
And I think that's what Pakistanis like about him. He bowls a straight delivery, batsman misses it, and he thinks that he's bowled a masterful delivery, and he raises his
The typical
his hand.
celebration, yes.
He takes the simplest of the catches, and the amount of celebration is the same. So I think that's what is very catching. I will ask you one question on Afridi, and it's okay if you don't answer it. What is his age?
I don't think even he knows about it. I don't think anyone knows what Afridi's age is.
Yeah, he's been playing for 15 years and
he's still 21 only.
He's still 21.
He's still 21 or 25.
Yeah.
Not more than that.
Not more than that, yeah. Anyways, moving on to our next series, Australia versus South Africa. 3 days have gone by, another 2 mini collapses have happened. What is happening in South Africa right now?
I think the top orders of both the sides have done decently well in holding up their ends and scoring a little bit, but it's the lower order that's letting them both the sides down actually, because they have some inexperienced faces coming in. Even the experienced hands are not performing at those numbers. So again, you have a lack of productivity between numbers say 5 to 10, which. Again, if the tail wags, you can add another 100 runs at that point between those positions. But right now, you see the top order scoring 200 and the rest of the 5 scoring just 50 or 40. So that is something of grave concern for both the teams. This sort of reminds us of India of the 90s. Once the top order batsmen are gone, that's it.
Well, once
4 out, all out kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
once Sachin is gone, you don't need to include the top order in.
That's true. So I think that's what's happening with them. But again, it's pretty much the same as the case with Australia. Sri Lanka and Pakistan, where it's the bowling that's fighting it out for both the teams. So it's.
And you would expect that after the start, they had, I think it was 178 for 1 in the second innings. I felt that they were going to surpass 266, but what happened was that there was a sudden collapse and the lead is just 30 runs. So it makes test match cricket very interesting when you have things like that happening. And
the way De Villiers and Amla have batted right now on day 3, I'm pretty sure it'll make life tough for the Australians to come back into this match because they already lead by South Africa already leads by around 200 runs with 7 more wickets in hand.
I think the absence of your man Watson
is really affecting them.
Is really affecting their bowling, and they need that extra lack of speed from Shane Watson.
That's true. He had some different dimension to the bowling attack.
Yeah.
Not express pace and not spin. It's just somewhere in between.
Yeah, but at least he bowls the right corridor, which I think Mitchell Johnson is failing to bowl for the last 2 years.
It might be. Do you think Mitchell Johnson might be kicked out of the side soon?
He should be. He should be. The way he's played.
Is he going down the Harbhajan path right now?
Well, we'll see where actually Harbhajan path takes him. But I think Mitchell Johnson was. I think he should have gone out maybe 1 or 2 years earlier. He's not bowled well at all. He's given 100 runs in an innings quite regularly in the recent past, so which is very unheard of from actually a fast bowler, especially because they don't bowl as many overs as a spinner does. So, but let's see what happens to him.
Okay, guys, moving on to a new segment. Last week, if you guys remember, Parth made up a list of the people he'd like to commentate with, the commentators currently or from the past who have who have held our attentions for those 3 or 6 long hours of a cricket game, have made the watching experience a little more interesting because of their way of presenting the action on field. So again, taking that idea one step further, this week we'll talk about a list I have prepared for the grounds that I would like to play on. Grounds which have great history attached with it, or grounds which have a great scenery around them, or in any which way we would love to be on the field at that ground rather than watch it on TV. So any point you want to make before that?
I would like to hear your list first, and then I'll make a comment.
Absolutely. Look, jumping into my list, I think my list includes all the usual suspects. Top of the list definitely has to be Lords. Definitely. I had a good fortune of visiting Lords when I was in London around 2 years ago, and standing there in the very balcony where Saurav Ganguly in the 2002 NatWest series, after winning the game, took off his shirt and gave Andrew Flintoff his own dose of medicine.
I think that shirt was a symbol to the youth of India that you can basically do whatever you want and beat somebody at their own field, which wasn't the case earlier on. So
I stood there, and it does feel like you're part of history, and that's only one very minuscule part of history. The number of great matches that have been played there, the history attached with that particular stadium, the ground, the club. It's just overwhelming. I stood at the boundary lines. I went up to the media center. It was amazing. It's one of the best trips I've been. One of the best cricket grounds I've visited, and it's very few cricket grounds that I've visited, so I don't have a lot to compare with. But I'm pretty sure people who have been to more would agree that this is one of the favorite places.
Yeah.
Moving on, I think my next two choices would be down south in Australia, probably SCG and the MCG. Again, they have rich history associated with them, great atmosphere, huge grounds, huge grounds. And obviously, if you go to the MCG, playing in that indoor dome would be an experience once in a while. But again, they are just the sheer size of the grounds makes you feel so humble when you're standing in there.
90,000 people.
Absolutely.
90,000 is a number that is not associated with cricket. And
imagine going out to bat or field there, and if a ground is completely filled, the atmosphere would be great.
One day the cricket hotspots should make a trip to Australia, and we'll buy the tickets of the Boxing Day Test, and we'll go on MCG, and that is my dream day to visit a ground. I mean, that is just, I really want to go, so maybe we can arrange some funds. And
sponsorship available.
Sponsorship available, yes. But certainly very good choice, MCG, definitely.
Absolutely. Then I think we would have to come back to India for my next choice would be Eden Gardens and Wankhede, probably both at par. Wankhede just because of its size and also its atmosphere. The Mumbai crowd just really knows how to enjoy the cricket.
I would say the other way around. I would say
the Eden Gardens crowd is more passionate. Agreed. It's much more passionate, but it's just.
But they don't show up for the Test cricket.
Yeah, well, recent matches aside, Eden Garden crowds they are more passionate any day for sure. But it's just the very experience of playing in Mumbai. Sachin Tendulkar's home ground. How can you not want to play there?
Yes.
So there, I think Wankhede and Eden Gardens both. Eden Gardens again is majestic, huge ground, great facilities. One of the few Indian grounds that players from across the world want to come and play at.
Well, Steve Waugh once called it's the Lords of the subcontinent, so something to cherish. I mean, I remember a stat, I think in the 96 World Cup semi-final, the ground could only hold 90,000, and I think 120,000 were crammed in that ground.
Wow.
So you can imagine the kind of riots that happened at the end of that match. So any other ground that you would like?
I think the last one on my list would be Cape Town.
Yeah.
With the beautiful scenic view of the Table Mountain from the ground. I think that's one of very picturesque ground.
Very.
Every time I watch it on TV, I just want to go out there and stand there on the field.
Yeah.
It just makes you feel so mesmerized by the view.
Yeah.
Although you should be paying attention on the field, but
yeah. Well, and that's what happened in the 47 all out. They were all looking at Table Mountains.
I think we can put it down to that. But yes, any views on that one?
I would say that if I were to add a couple, I would put the Oval. I think that's where the Ashes started, and it's one of the. That's where the English cricket season ends, in terms of English summer ends. So definitely, I would like to go to the Oval, and also just to cover my bases, Barbados. Barbados also is one with steeped history, and of course, it's just fun visiting cricket grounds. I remember I went to the Mohali Stadium. Of course, I've been to the Firozshah Kotla because it was in my city. But I went to the Mohali Stadium, and that's also a very good ground. And after the construction they have done, during the World Cup, it again became a good ground. So let's move on to our moment of the week. Hello folks, now moment of the week, our usual segment. This week's moment is very special to every cricket watcher because this week saw, I think 21 years ago, two legends of the game taking center stage and revealing their talents. One, I'm talking about Waqar Younis, and the second, Sachin Tendulkar.
In the same
match,
game. Yes.
Same match, November 16th in Karachi. Rarely happens that two players who are actually debuting become the best in their fields, arguably
In their era, yeah.
in their era.
Probably across eras.
Across eras, yeah. So, your memories of that match?
I know 3
you were
years
actually
old.
born then. I wasn't born then.
I was 3 years old. I don't remember a lot. Absolutely. Even if I did, I don't know if I understood what was going on.
Yeah.
But in any case, yes, looking back, as you said, two greats making a debut in the same match and going on to become greats. At that point in time, no one knew that they were actually...
Yeah.
But people knew that they had some special talent.
Yeah.
Sachin was, I think, 15 or some
16.
Yes. And Waqar was, I think, 19.
Yeah.
Two very young cricketers, and probably you'd think that thrust into international limelight too early for their age. But they showed immense maturity. I think Waqar came out on top in that match.
Yeah,
between the battle of the two masters.
Yeah, he hit Sachin, I think, and I think he bowled him also. Sachin was bowled by Waqar in that match. So in drawn test, but certainly a test that will be remembered for these two legends.
We definitely know where Sachin is right now. He is. I don't think there are many records where he doesn't have his name in front of.
Yeah.
So, and probably many more he can finish off.
Well, one at least people are crying for, and we want to get it over with. But
might as well get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Too much hype around the 100th, and obviously that'd be a tremendous achievement.
If he does it in Mumbai, of course.
That'll be
anywhere, but yeah.
Anywhere, whenever he does it, 100s at international level, class of genius.
Yeah, class of genius. That's it, folks. Keep liking us on Facebook, and we would love to hear anything from you. It's questions at the Cricket Hotspot. Any comments, any suggestions, liking the fact that people from around the world are listening to us. So do listen in and recommend this to your friends if you like us. I hope you do. And this is me, Parth, saying goodbye.
Thank you, guys. Again, same thing. I'd like to reiterate that, yes, please send us your feedback. As usual, everything is appreciated. We appreciate all the love that you've been showing, and we love the comments that we've been getting back on our recordings. And again, if you'd like to see any segments that you would be interested in listening about, please do not hesitate to send it in. We'll try our best to cover it in future segments, future episodes. And anything else that you'd like to see on the show, or hear on the show rather, we are more than happy to accommodate you. So till then, till next week, I hope all of you have a good time, a good week, and we'll see you, or we'll talk to you
next week.
Thank you.
See
Bye.
you guys.